I'm Brian Morrissey. I'm the editor-in-chief of Digiday. We're a kind of new publication. We cover the digital media industry and we focus on advertisers, agencies, and publishers. A lot of times South by Southwest is about chasing the latest and greatest. So there's this mythology that's been built up around South by Southwest of, well, Twitter took off here, Foursquare had 5,000 users before, or 500 users before they came here, and then they left here with 50,000. And so there's this idea of chasing the next big thing, and South by Southwest fuels that, and then you have the startups that all are trying to be the next big thing, and then you have agencies and brands down here looking for the next big thing. But I think the most sort of inspiring and interesting thing is seeing brands like Nike and American Express down here. And instead of chasing the next big thing, is they're taking all of these changes in digital media and they're baking it into everything they do. So the Nike Fuel Band is a really, really interesting thing because this is Nike changing its company. They're a technology company now. They've got developers, they've got coders, they've got 200 people in a digital sport unit, and technology is the future of that company, a sneaker company. That's pretty interesting. A lot of these things are by necessity advertiser driven, brand driven more. I mean, it's not just advertising because it involves all parts of the company. And I think a big challenge for agencies is figuring out their role in that. I mean, it's just a simple fact that when products are developed, the agency is typically not involved in that. For example, Nike Fuel Band, I was actually going for a run yesterday with Nick Law from RGA, and he was talking about how, yeah, fine, Nike was sort of developing it, but that RGA was very involved in coming up with the button that you hit regularly in order to get quick updates, and so that the single button sort of motif of it, which is, it's funny because as a Fuel Band user, I don't have it on now, but it is something you constantly hit, and it's just it's a little reminder of how you're doing. And I think it'd be great for agencies to get more into those kind of roles. In theory, you should have all sides that need to, that need each other. You've got the brands, you've got the agencies, and you have the startups that are, at least in theory, sort of building the new ways that consumers are going to connect with each other, and then brands are going to connect with consumers. But you see these worlds still very, very apart, and I think a lot of that I wouldn't necessarily put on the agency side or even on the brand side. I would put it on the startup side. A lot of startups don't like advertising. They complain about it. They talk about. I was at a session yesterday where someone with an app developer was talking about the gross ads, and it's funny because they don't like advertising because they're being subsidized right now by the venture capital industry that has probably too much money to invest. And eventually, most of the people who work for these startups are going to be working in the advertising business, because at best they're going to be bought by Facebook and Google, which the last time I checked are in the advertising business. So at some point, all roads lead to selling sugary water. I think it's very good that the agency and the advertiser communities are very interested in this world. There was a time, if we look back 5+ years ago, that would not have been the case. And I think it's very good. What I think is somewhat disappointing to me is that the reverse is not necessarily true. I don't necessarily see that other world of the startup technology world that is obsessed with really understanding how advertising works. I think agencies have a much greater understanding of the consumer mindset, I think, than a lot of the technology people do. And that's why I think it would be great if the two sort of married together.